Hello and welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and we are going to continue moving on with the Signature Arcana Spotlight series. I do want to just give a quick mention to the idea that we did also have a quick look at Nine Souls, a new Metroidvania that came out recently, and oh my goodness, is that game intriguing! Like, seriously, you should go have a look at that game. Like, it's really something. Like, I'm sure there are other content creators who have done videos on that game as well, so I'm just gonna say right now, it's a bit gory, a bit gritty. But if you're okay with that sort of thing and aren't bothered by it, then by all means, give that game a look. It's good stuff. Alright, so now we step into the last two, and obviously today we're going to do Sonic Breaker, which has the notable distinction of being a kind of fly-by-wire sort of thing. So you'll notice each hit doesn't do a ton of damage by itself, but oh my goodness, do you get a lot of hits off with this. Like, this is just an amazing spell, and so long as you're holding the B button, you can continue to guide your Sonic Breakers in whatever direction you want. Like, this spell is just nuts. So, since that's very clearly going to be our primary source of damage, so let's go ahead and grab some things that I think will help control the field. Namely, let's go ahead and get our usual defensive option there. Let's see, Arc Sphere, that counts as melee. It's not that I couldn't use it in this, but I think there are better options to help control the field, like Spark Array. Though, admittedly, Spark Array won't freeze... Sorry, not... Why am I thinking freeze? It won't shock enemies very much. At least if they're... You get the idea. My brain isn't working today, so we're just gonna have to pretend like what I'm saying makes sense. Here we go, Spiral Rumblers. That seems like a good one. And then for... this, we'll just go Bolt Rail, and we've got ourselves a build. So, to answer a couple of queries, you can just throw Sonic Breakers out in front of you like that. Like, if you don't have the space to do the fly-by-wire controls, or you're being pressured, there is absolutely nothing saying that you have to hold on to it. You can just throw it out in front of you. Which, once again, options. I love having options, don't you? The versatility of some of these spells is what makes them so interesting. Not just in how you use them. I mean, exactly in how you use them, actually, but it's not just that. It's, you know, more than just positioning and, you know, deciding where you want to cast the spell from, or how close or far away from the enemy. This is flat out a risk-reward sort of scenario where you're deciding whether or not the fly-by-wire option is what you want, or if you think it's a little too risky. And you know, there is nothing wrong with any of that. I love it all. So, why don't we get started? Like, yes, I know we have a very projectile-heavy build, but I think we actually will get the most out of starting at Shu and then moving our way up from there. You don't even have to deal with Atlas. So as you can see, the idea behind this spell is that the risk is in the fly-by-wire mode. But the moment that things start to become too dangerous, you can just back out and be like, nope, gotta go. Interesting. So the thing that I like to look at is, can you dash cancel this? Obviously, yes, you can. And the other real danger is that, of course, if they hit a wall, they expire. So you can't just hold it up against a wall, because otherwise you'll make all of your Sonic booms go bleh. Thank you, Thunderline. Ah, guten Tag, Herr Doctor. Why, Dark Sage, I didn't know you knew how to speak Spanish. As you can see, because of all the overlapping projectiles, the damage adds up fast. And I am very happy with that. I have no qualms about that. Obviously, you guys know how much I like my ranged play and my zoning builds. I also noticed that even if one projectile hits, when you go to shift directions, it gains another hitbox. So it's very easy to just load up on damage with this spell. See what I mean? And there you can see kind of what happens if you choose to hold the fly-by-wire mode a little too long. So another one of the downsides to that mode, to this spell in general, is that the cooldown doesn't stop until you stop using the fly-by-wire mode. Like, because if you just throw it out, like a few frames after you throw out the last projectile, then the cooldown starts. It's a 5-second cooldown, so you got a little bit to go without it. But if you just hold the button and do that, then the cooldown doesn't start until the last one expires. Or the moment you stop using fly-by-wire mode, then the cooldown starts. So, just something to think about. Alright, well this entire build is basically predicated on playing Keep Away, so we'll take Dragon Dive. Alright, that was a messy fight. That could have gone better. Alright, now I need to decide, do I want to take this or not? Like, there's a part of me that wants to take it, but I think that might be something better to try on, like, a different build. And when I say a different build, I mean one where I'm not necessarily focused on the Sonic breakers themselves, but something where I'm like trying something different. Because I can imagine the Ward of Winds working just fine for this build. But I also don't want to be too experimental with this build because I'm trying to focus on just... the Sonic breakers and how they interact, and we can worry about using wards later. Okay, there's things here that I like, but how many of them am I actually going to worry about? Obviously, because they count as projectiles, they interact with other projectiles and mirror shield. So definitely use that to kind of color your decisions. Like if you're not too skippy on the idea of your projectiles interacting with enemy projectiles, then keep that in mind. But for the most part, you've got a pretty solid base to work with here. And obviously, because you're scoring so many hits, that's why I chose to go with a critical hit-based build. Because that will start to rack up damage very quickly. But, if I'm being honest, you might, I stress might because I haven't really tested out the actual numbers, you might be able to get more out of using the Hope Robe with this. That's just because it gets bonus critical hit chance, but also a little bit of damage up. But the extra critical hit damage might push it over the edge. So that's something worth experimenting with. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the Awe Robe is probably the right choice. Got anything good for me? Kind of. Grab that in case the Hunter Stiletto shows up. Most of the rest of this, well, I mean, I want this just because I'm having a hard time building up Signature Charge. Oh, beautiful. Okay, so we're not going to be upgrading Dragon Dive because we're going to want to take that money and use it to upgrade our robe. That works. Alright. Now, I will give a fair warning to those of you who are very good with melee builds and have a hard time with missile builds. This might not be the spell for you. Although I stress that there's nothing wrong with giving it a try. Because it is a very easy spell to use. Like, the idea that it's got the fly-by-wire mode really makes it rather easy to figure out. But as you can see, the damage output is a little low, so, you know, take any of this with a grain of salt. I'm gonna shift in my chair now. Just in case you guys are wondering what some of those noises are. And I'm currently using Shearing Chain as one of those good for right now spells. It'll probably get replaced by something else later since I am focusing very heavily on Missile. Absorption Coil actually worked out in my favor there. I'm also really liking the rogues and the other guys, the rogues and the archers being slowed down. Because honestly, who cares about those guys? But it's not the most important factor of what I'm thinking. I took it because it was free. So if I need money, I know what to do. Okay, we definitely want to upgrade Thunderline. Okay, that room was kind of scaring me a little bit. I probably don't need to explain why either. Alright, so upgrade that. And I want to get this last combat room just to make sure we enter the next floor with more money. Yeah, it's going to be just one more combat room or not. It's just going to be a dead end. And you know, better to know than to not. I'm gonna stop trying to beat myself up about running into dead ends so much because, I mean, the only thing it's doing is reassuring me that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing and exploring. I like Air Spinner, but I think I'm good for right now. And what is my build aside from a bunch of mobile air discs that Air Spinner would make anyway? It's all the spin. None of the, bin. I'll try harder next time. Oh, in case some of you are going, hey, Dark Sage, your damage output seems kind of low. Yes, I do need more things to make this build particularly powerful. But I would call this far from weak. Alright, here's the boss room. We haven't found any vendors yet, but that's okay. We'll find them. And if not, we'll burn the city to the ground looking for them. Dark Sage, you're just in a castle, though. You know what? Let me have my dreams of revolution, okay? Okay, so this would kind of be nice. This would also kind of be nice. So would this. So, I think what we do is we wait and see what else is available elsewhere. After all, we only have so much money to spend. Sir, why are you trying to lower my critical hit chance? I don't know, Graduation Bouquet might be the right answer, but if that's the right answer, then I'm okay being wrong, because I find having gold to purchase your Arcana and Relics with to be more important. Well, I tried. Alright, getting beat up kind of bad here. Oh, I see. I turned down Dragon Dive once just because I don't have enough money, and now I get no more upgrades forevermore. Thanks, Iris. So one downside I'm noticing is that when you're spending so much time using Sonic Breakers, it's kind of hard to really put together a combo. So it looks like you're doing a lot less damage than you really are against the bosses. But I mean, also my damage output is kind of low, so I have to keep that in mind. other thing to keep in mind is that a lot of my damage has been being lowered by the idea that I've been fighting enemies that are, for the most part, resistant to wind. Now I can finally fight enemies that take normal damage from it, so that will hopefully feel better. I don't know if I want that or not. I kind of would rather have the chance to get the Crimson Clover, if I'm being honest. Smooth. That was the perfectly timed dash that I was looking for. The thing about Sonic Breaker that I'm really liking, as you've been seeing me do, is that even if enemies do bum rush you, it's very easy to pull your breakers back and have them act as a shield. And because you have such good control over where they go, it's very easy to use them to hold enemies back. That was an example of things not quite going according to plan, though. Ooh, Sidewinder's badge, that's nice. Okay, well, I mean, I had a chance at it, but no. It's a little too late to really make a lot of use out of Tiny Crocodile Heart. So we'll just say no. Ow. Okay, well, I mean, at least we can upgrade this. And of course, the other big downside to Sonic Breaker that you probably already picked up on by now, but I'm gonna bring it up again just because it is important, is that you will sometimes, well, not sometimes, but while you're using the fly-by-wire mode, you will be being held still, so So you really do have to be a little bit careful. But I say a little bit because, frankly, the idea that you have such precise control over the projectiles does mean that you can use them as sort of a barrier for yourself, and that's really a lot of fun. Send them out to hit enemies around corners, and you've really got a lot of freedom with this spell. Oh, we managed to aggro 2 groups of enemies at the same time. I don't know how I managed to do that. But okay. If you say so, game. Okay, there's Dragon Dive upgrade, so we're set for that, at the very least. And you are kind of playing the ultimate range game here. So it's very easy just to send those things into a room and just let them go ham. Like, it almost feels like you're controlling a summon more so than just a projectile spell, to be honest. Tebe! Oh, hello. That showed up a little late, but, you know, I'm not going to turn it down. And yes, you can see, just because of how many hits you're scoring, that you're going to be scoring a bunch of criticals. Interesting. I thought about starting with that one, but I preferred Bolt Rail. No, I'm good. No, thank you. Game? I was trying to turn my breakers around, but they wouldn't turn around. That was weird. Let's hope that doesn't happen again. Not that it matters, we're having an easy enough time with this run. Okay, I guess I don't need that. And again, many of you probably figured this out, but you don't necessarily need to worry about projectiles too much if you use your... Sonic Breakers as a shield. Oh, I wish I could have found the rainbow tail. No, I think I'm good. Though I would like the dagger of Midas right about now. Ow. I guess I shouldn't be surprised that he summoned the agents. Ow. Alright, I am not having a good time here. Oh, there we go. And that's how that works. That was kind of the perfect way to end that match, too, even though I was getting beat up really bad. So, Sonic Breakers, it's very much a missile range fighter's wet dream, and definitely worth a look. Like, even if you're not very good with missile range stuff, this just helps you keep so much control of the battlefield that it's worth trying just once, just to see what you think of it. And its weaknesses are pretty glaring, but so are its strengths, so you're not really going wrong to just find out for yourself and see what you think. But I think that is where we call it good for today. So guys, thank you very much for coming and sharing some of your free time here with me today. I really do appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and you take care, everybody.